tonight. NBA Finals, Game 6. Could it be the final game of the finals? As the Golden State Warriors head to Boston and their potty mouth fans.
The Golden State Warrior?
And they'll be all full of swing oil as they hung out in Brookline all day, screaming at the players in the United States Open.
And it's an afternoon Red Sox game, so you could literally go to all three events today in Boston.
And then you're going to go to a Boston Celtics games in jail. Boston Celtics game 6 versus the Golden State Warriors. Celtics in a do-or-die game. This is it. 2 games to go in the season or just 1. And if the Golden State Warriors win tonight, that would give them 4 rings in the Steve Kerr, Steph Curry, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson. I guess you got to throw Andre Iguodala in for some of them era. 4 of them. Steph Curry wins tonight. Let's just focus on Steph, shall we? Steph Curry wins tonight. That would give him as many rings as Jamal Wilkes. No. That's not the name, although that would be accurate.
But say no lies.
Didn't see that one come at you.
No lies. That's
I
not
like your
what
style,
we're
Rich. I
expecting.
like your style.
Same number of rings as the guy that apparently Darvin Ham doesn't want to see in his coaches meeting. Kurt Rambis. But there's another Laker of note
Keep going.
who he would tie in all-time rings, and that is LeBron James.
Hey, now.
And that would open the door to a lot of stupidity in my sports television and conversation business.
But they're here for it.
Yep.
But Steph Curry wins tonight, that would give him 4 rings. He'd be too shy of Michael Jordan. Steph Curry tonight. And he would really have to regress from even one of his worst games of his career to not win the most valuable player of this here finals.
Yeah, big favorite. Yeah, from MVP.
I mean, the NBA writers who adore him, and rightfully so, I do as well. I think they're just itching for any reason to put that on his resume. Since Andre Iguodala won the first.
Well, they robbed him of one in 2015.
Right. And then Kevin Durant won the next 2. And that's the most important thing about this opportunity for the Warriors and Steph Curry and Draymond Green and Klay Thompson and Steve Kerr tonight. That it's like, yes, that first one was before Durant. But I think all of us in the NBA world looking back on it, did they eke that one out? Did they eke out that championship that year?
2015?
Well, I mean, just view it in that way that they kind of churned their way into becoming a champion that year. And
6 games. Yeah.
I think that's the way it's viewed from here on back, that they kind of really were churning it out, using all of their energy to get through it. And Andre Iguodala was the NBA Finals MVP. Be that as it may.
For holding the guy to
The
38.
way it was looked at for sure post LeBron and Kyrie beating them coming back from 3-1 is they needed another piece in order to actually sustain their greatness. And Durant arrived.
That's a hell of a piece.
I know that. I know it. Leading to the famous Draymond Green, you created the super team, bro. Line when they won their NBA championship.
You started the super team, bro.
Man, Del Tufo would have never got that.
My mouse was on that. That was weird.
You know what? It was kind of meant to be
Yeah.
that you would have had it. But yeah, you started the super team, bro, and then Durant leaves him. Amazingly, in a sign and trade that brought D'Angelo Russell to Golden State, who they wound up flipping for Andrew Wiggins, who has provided that fourth wheel, that fourth leg of the championship throne chair in games 4 and 5. And thus, them losing Durant and then losing all of their mojo in a dreadful pandemic bubble season that they just didn't even go to the bubble. They're like, we're out. We're done. We don't need to be there. We don't want to be there. We're just going to take a break. We'll take the first overall pick if the popcorn machine comes out with our our lottery ticket. They did. They don't even have James Wiseman this year, and they make the NBA Finals, and they're one game away from winning it. If they win it this time around, this is the one that they could hold up even more proudly than the first one that they won in this stretch. This is the one where nobody thought this could possibly happen. Nobody thought that they could go from last, first overall choice to winning it all again, even with the fact that, well, you still had Curry injured and Clay was injured and Draymond Green is still there. You know, put it all together. Nobody still thought that they could win it all. Well, not nobody. I did. But outside of all that.
I was waiting for that, Chris. I was waiting for that.
Outside of all that, tonight could be triumphant for me, but I'm trying to be respectful of the man who actually has an emotional tie to tonight's game. And all the Celtics fans out there who have loved watching this team that's come from nowhere, one of the more enjoyable rides that Boston Celtics fans have seen. And I think tonight they show up. I think they show up. I think they'll have fewer than 18 turnovers. So. And I think they show up, and I think we're going to get a Game 7. I still feel it. I still feel it.
Obviously, I hope you're right.
But the Warriors
I'm not as confident.
But the Warriors are championship quality. The Warriors have champions and Hall of Famers all over the place, from their coach to the players on the court. And they're going to be playing with the proverbial house money tonight, and that's what I would be particularly concerned about. They've got the backstop of a home game on Father's Day, not the Celtics. And so that would concern me for Boston. But I think the Celtics will show up tonight and have a good enough game to be able to force a Game 7. That's my 2 cents on the subject matter. Where are you watching the game?
I'm just gonna be at home in a dark room.
Okay,
probably.
So I'll be at a poker table with my buddies watching the game,
having way much more fun.
And so, well, it depends on if my friends suck out on the river. But
is Murph playing tonight?
No, Murph might play tonight.
What's up, Murph?
I don't know. Murph, if you're playing tonight, call in and curse.
Free Murph.
When the Warriors play tonight, though, they know they've got the backstop of Sunday, and they have history in the making. And also, like I said, a W for the Dubs that nobody saw coming, and I think is more impressive than winning with Durant or even winning for the first time as this team and tasting championship champagne like they did all those years ago. This is the time when Curry's supposed to be over the hill, and Clay's not the same player, and Draymond Green and his magic is, left his game, and so on and so forth. And the Warriors can come back and win with this team. I think this is the one that they can point to that banner and be most proud of.
Even more so than the first one?
I think so.
Yeah.
Now, that could also be recency bias.
Or the fact that you picked them?
No, I'm actually removing that from the equation.
Okay.
But I'd love to see who else in the national TV or radio conversation chose the Warriors before the season. Anybody else?
I'm sure there'll be a lot of people claiming.
Any other comers?
I don't know.
At the Crown over here?
Let's see if I can find that.
No, let's do that. You should do that.
You should.
It's another drop here.
You should do that.
Thank you.
You know what the Celtics should do,
You should
Chris?
do that.
I would have
not turn the ball over tonight.
Well, I would have done.
By the way,
everything.
before you finish your
comment,
comment, that really is the entire ball game.
That's what we talked about on our podcast yesterday. Yeah.
The Rich Eisen Show basketball podcast.
I was listening to Stan Van Gundy talk on another program yesterday, and he was kind of saying the same thing. Like, if you look at it, just teams straight up, the Celtics are better. It's when they really shoot themselves in the foot that's the games they've lost.
Not just turnovers, Chris, but bad turnovers.
Bad turnovers, missed shots. I mean, it was a make-miss league. I get it, but it just seems like, before we talked about all the finals experience, the Warriors had 123 games.
That means nothing right now.
And the Celtics had 0. I actually think that's been a huge factor.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. Just a team that's been there before. Their core players know what it takes. It's
Understand
like, it's like
runs.
playing in the NFL playoffs. Like, if you got Tom Brady against a rookie quarterback, who do you think is going to be more calm in that situation?
I guess so. But it's now fight or flight now, man. And so I think that you could throw that out the window.
But we're going to need more like a 40-point quintessential.
Celtics, and plus the
Tatum
Celtics
game.
have played in Game 7s. This
group
playoffs,
has,
right?
yeah, that's
I mean,
true.
So
but still, it's a little different when the title's on the line.
it's just like when the calls aren't going your way, just suck it up and turn around and walk away.
Yeah, right.
Look, Rich, when you're playing for the David Stern Trophy, you got to
Nice.
throw out everything else
Nice.
and really go for it.
Nice.
So.
Okay. Very well done. Hugh Gordon Liddy would say the same thing. Because he tried to break into Larry O'Brien's office. Okay. Let's not go down the Watergate wormhole.
Come for sports, stay for the history.
We
That's
do a
right.
whole Watergate show.
We can.